you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. Excited today. We are in the new casa. Mi casa is, I don't know how to say new in Spanish, but it is new. And so we're very grateful, very blessed. It was a heck of a week moving, trying to get things organized. We are nowhere near there. We had friends fly in and bless us with their presence this week, which we were very grateful for. Got to spend good quality time and so forth and eat out a lot and find all new places that we want to eat and love and all these cool things in this beautiful location of San Diego and Carlsbad in general. Anyway, I wanted to deep dive because it was on my heart. It was on my heart, and I've been seeing more people ask me these things about, hey, you know, I want to help out my family member start a business. I want to be able to help out my friends start a business. I want to be able to grow and scale a business. And everybody wants these things. Like, most people hate their jobs or they don't feel satisfied. They aren't feeling fulfilled and they want to do their own thing. Some people are meant for it. Others people just simply aren't. We're going to cover that today, but before we dive into that, if this is your first time listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, welcome. We've been doing this for, I think, almost 400 episodes or roughly around there for like 6-7 years every single Monday. When the new episode drops, I would greatly appreciate, stop what you're doing right now, hit that subscribe button. Once a new episode drops every Monday, you will get a notification to let you know, hey, another podcast in the mix that you can jump on, you can listen to. After listening to a few of those episodes after being subscribed, then would love to get that 5-star review from you. And at the end of the day, we're all geared towards educating, motivating, and preparing you to take action in real estate investing or really any type of business. You know, there's many ways to make money in real estate. I always say it's 30 plus ways to make money in real estate. There's millions upon millions of businesses out there, right, that you can make money on and that you can feel fulfilled. You can feel, all the good things. It's like in your wheelhouse, right? What you geek out on, what you love, right? And so it just depends, whatever that may be. Do you actually want to start that? Now, I recommend that everybody has some kind of level of either business, or if you are in love with your work right now and it's not owning your own business, but you just love working for somebody else, or you just aren't meant to be a business owner, which is okay. It's very common. It's more common than not. Then I encourage you still to have at least a few rental properties, at least 3 to 4 rental properties, and ideally, residential multifamily at least, just so that you can have multiple options and backup plans of additional income. Okay, you can take advantage of appreciation, depreciation for taxes. You could take advantage of cash flow and somebody else paying off your mortgage. If you could, instead of just relying on your boss, your W-2 to satisfy all your needs, if something happens to the business or if they cut you off right before you're about to retire and you're screwed, you just dedicated all your time there, whose fault is it? You could easily blame others, but if you're at their mercy, then it's not necessarily their fault. It's your poor planning on allowing them to dictate your every move. You're a victim to it. And so it's important to take ownership in what can I do today in this day and age, this market, to plan for my future, retirement, my kids, these goals that I have in life. How do I actually prepare and plan for it? And again, not everybody's meant to be a business owner. So I want to just before I start talking to the business owners, I do want to just clarify, this isn't meant, like, business isn't meant for everybody. I do believe everybody, however, everybody should own some type of real estate. And I do recommend 2, 3, or 4 units, residential multifamily, at least 3 to 4 of those. Because if you got that, then at least you could have, 10, 8, 12, 16 units right there. And that could be enough additional income to be able to satisfy all the other things, right? And to be able to satisfy your life in many different ways. Okay. So I do encourage that worst case scenario. Everybody should have that as a minimum. And maybe it's a good stomping ground, because again, it gives you tax benefits, it gives you appreciation, it gives you cash flow, it starts giving you freedom, it gives you financial freedom, which allows you to start diversifying and testing out other things that may get you excited, which buys time freedom, right? So just consider that. Everybody go for some type of real estate. Okay. With that being said, let's box that up and put it to the side for a second. Now let's talk about to all the business owners or those who are dead set on becoming a business owner, meaning you've looked at your boss, you're tired of them, you have all these ideas, these goals, you have all these things, you want to wear that ownership hat, and you acknowledge there's no other better way to do it except to run your own business. You want the blessings from it, and you're open to having all the tough times with it as well, because there is no such thing as easy breezy money or easy breezy impact. When you're doing something good, there's going to be a hell of a ride doing it. It's going to be a roller coaster up and down. And I want you to be prepared for that, because it's not meant for the lighthearted here. Okay, so do you actually have what it takes to become a business owner? Ask yourself that truthfully. Are you stubborn enough to stick through the good times and the bad? Right when you start celebrating, just a week later, it could be all crashing down. I was talking to somebody today. He was saying, man, business is crazy. Like 1 month, I'm thinking we're going to have to file bankruptcy and like I'm not going to have a business at all. And then the next month, I feel like I need to hire on like 22 employees to keep up with the demand. What the heck is up with this? And it's learning curves throughout the whole process. And if you are a crazy type of individual, that certain type of rare breed, if you will, then this is going to be perfect for you. You're going to be up for the challenge. You're going to like the excitement. You're going to be down for the cause. You're going to withstand the punches. You're going to take all the heartache, the loss of sleep. You're going to fight through all of these different challenges, and it doesn't feel good. Don't kid yourself. It's not going to feel good, but you're okay with it because there's nothing else you would rather do than go through that challenge, those obstacles, that uphill battle versus anything in comparison to it. Meaning the comfortableness of just getting a paycheck and the same paycheck every week, dealing with the hurdles and so forth of just life, working for somebody that doesn't appreciate you, like things like that, right? Does that make sense? So, but how bad do you actually want it is the question, first off, do you have what it takes to actually become a business owner? It's a very important question that you should just sit with. You should just sit with it yourself and verify, do I actually have what it takes? And if you believe after truly sitting with it for a long time, writing out the pros and cons, like, can you really, really deal with this? Like, if you can, then put that to the side and then ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? See, if you want it bad enough, you will get desperate and addicted to it in a respectful way. Meaning, I remember in the very beginning, 2013, 2014, I was addicted to real estate. I wanted it so bad that I was willing to I assumed, hey, everybody that I talk to makes mistakes in real estate one way or another, like down the road, somebody makes a mistake. I rather just speed up that process and start making mistakes right away. I was like, I'd rather just rush through it and just say, screw it. I was I was willing to fail before I succeed. I got to a point where I was just so determined. I don't care. I just want to rush through. Like, I just want to do it because it took me 2 full years and 4 hours every single day to studying and everything that I could, books, podcasts, YouTube, podcasts just like this, going to RIA groups. I was willing to do whatever it took to be able to get my feet wet and like begin the process of actually physically doing the investing versus learning. Number one, the learning was the first time learning in my life that I actually got excited for and I enjoyed it. So that was awesome. It was cool, but it's like 4 hours every single day for 2 years. Still haven't been able to get something. Enough is enough. It's starting to drive me crazy. All right. Number two is I was working 2 restaurant jobs that were dead end jobs that I worked at for a long period of time, years upon years. And I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. I was comfortable. Because it was what I knew and I got free food from it. I was able to work as much or as little as I wanted. I was able to, like, the people that were there every day were like my friends, quote unquote, my friends that I enjoyed or that were comfortable, that I knew. And then there's other people there that I didn't like. But at the end of the day, it was like, it's just something that it was getting me out of the house. I was able to clock in, make the same amount, and I was just getting dead tired from being like kind of pulling from my soul and pulling it out. I had all these ideas about like improvements within those businesses, but again, it wasn't mine, and nobody gave me the authority to actually make any of those decisions because I never actually cared to move up and go up the little ladder, right? If you will. I never showed initiative for it. And at the time I wasn't ready, truthfully. But eventually you get to a point that I was just like, man, like I want to be my own boss. I want to do my own things. I want to have my own decisions. And I'm willing to fail before I succeed. I'm willing to fall before I can crawl, before I can run, before I can walk, before I can, talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like there was just so much that I realized, like, I don't care. I want it so bad. And so I was willing to talk to anybody that gave me the time. Anybody. And I come to find some people now that talk more, that they say they want it. Like, talk is cheap. You got to realize that. Talk is real cheap. Your actions will show otherwise. Talk is cheap. And then excuses start coming out when you start making up these things, these fears that are funneling into your brain and saying, well, you need these certifications, you need these approvals, you need these outsourced sources, like these outer side thing, like whatever, like anything coming in here is going to, you need their approval first. Versus when there's a will, there's a way. Just being determined to succeed. And instead of asking for permission, ask for forgiveness type of thing. Like, have that type of mindset and figure it out as you go. See, there's people out there that are going to come up with excuses of why they can or why they're not moving as fast, and it's going to hold them back, versus those that say, screw it, I'm going and I'm going to do it as I go, and and really identify what they need to prioritize. When I was first starting, I realized that I had to prioritize, number one, getting around other people that were doing it. One, because it gave me motivation and it showed me that it was actually real, it was possible, and I could learn from their mistakes. And ideally, like, try to get them to give me mentorship and guidance to be able to succeed better, right? Save me time, save me money. And then number two, it was getting that knowledge, right? Just getting that knowledge from these people were everything, right? So getting around those individuals, I knew that it was going to help me succeed. And so I anybody that ever gave me the time of day, and I would be asking them, I would try to persuade them. Like, I was willing to do whatever it took to be able to win them over, to buy their time, to be able to get them to pour into me. And versus coming up with excuses why I couldn't do it. And I think that's a big imperative like it's a big important step that people need to identify, because if you're coming up with excuses from the very beginning, I can tell it's not going to be successful. And that's the hard part. It's the hard part to muster up. Something's got to shift. Something's got to change. And being determined to actually just push through it. Like, you just got to do it. And so, but who are you actually seeking guidance from? Are you actually going to others that are actually doing it? Or are you going to others that have never done business, you know? And you're trying to get wisdom from them? Is it family, friends that are pouring into you that don't actually own a business? It's going to be a little different, right? And so you want to filter that, and you want to kind of tune that stuff out. You want to listen to business owners that are doing your business that can actually pour into you and give you wisdom and guidance. And you got to make your own decisions at the end of the day, but you also need to open up your ears to somebody that's already been there and done it, and seek that and ask that. If you're in their presence, ask that. Use and abuse. There's nothing more that an experienced business owner wants to do except pour into others that want it, that truly want it, because we all know how it feels in the beginning starting off anything, right? It's difficult, it's hard. But when you want it and you're determined to succeed, you will succeed. You know, you're going to fail forward. But what are you actually doing on a daily basis? You know, are you focused on excuses, or are you focusing on IPAs? And when I say IPAs, I'm not talking about hitting the bar, fellas. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about income producing activities. Income producing activities. Are you hanging on to income producing activities, or are you hanging on to excuses? See, the very first thing that you should be focusing on is not the brand, not the LLC, not the protection. You don't have anything to protect. What the hell are you trying to get an LLC for? What the hell are you trying to get all these permits and business license? It's all nonsense. Like, I talk to people that are trying to start businesses, and they say it with like a badge of honor, like, well, I finally got my LLC. It's like, what a moron. It's that my first dozen properties that I had were in no LLC, just personally guaranteed myself. And why? It's because I grew up poor. I had nothing to my name, nothing that anybody could take from me. I had higher insurance to be able to give me better protection. You know, at the end of the day, it depends on your liabilities. You got to sit down with somebody and talk to them. But trust me, you don't need all your T's crossed, your I's dotted. You don't need all the fine little details. You need to make money. So the two most important things that you got to realize is, what are you selling, and can you sell it? Is it a product? Is it a service? You know, what is it? And can you actually be proficient at sales? Anybody that's lost right now, anybody that's not working, anybody that is working, anybody that is owning a business, thinking about owning a business, anything and everything, I believe you should start with sales. If you start understanding, identifying, and learning how to crush it at sales, getting your point across, hearing out the other individual, trying to make it a win-win scenario where there's a little bit of pain on both sides, and learning how to really be able to serve others to the highest caliber, and do it in a strategic way with sales, then sales cures all problems. We've all heard that, right? So identifying how to become the best salesperson, because you'll need it for everything in life, everything. You'll need it when you're at, trying to find a parking spot and you're talking to somebody, or you're trying to get tickets somewhere, or you're trying to ask that girl or that guy out. It's like you're trying to win them over, like selling them that you are the right one, that you're the right bet. You're going to want to get good at sales, because sales will solve all the problems. Number two, once you can sell and you start bringing in money, then it's imperative for you to understand marketing. See, having marketing plans in place to be able to get in front of the right avatar and the right person that you can sell to. If you can figure out those two pieces, now we actually have a business. Now we actually have something that you have a marketing plan, you have a sales approach, you have a funnel, you have the process, you know how to get it in front of them, you know how to get more people, you know how to make it a win-win scenario, you know how to get people excited and coming back and making it a no-brainer for them, getting them addicted to your product and service and the results and the feeling that it gives them. Okay? And once you're good at that, then it can't you can't be replaced. Like that is what's going to serve people to the best ability and get word of mouth out there spreading. Okay? But what if you don't have these things? Like how long are you actually going to give this business idea or plan or lack of plan? How long are you going to actually give it before you quit? Some people don't give it enough time. Some people don't give it enough time and they're just like, it needs to be successful in a month or 30, 60, 90 days. And their plan is outrageous. Or their lack of plan, they're like, I'll give it 2-3 years. Okay, good. That's a good amount of time. That's awesome. So what does the plan look like? Well, I don't really have a plan. Okay, so it's just because you have money saved up yeah. Okay. And then if life happens, if problems happen, if the business doesn't have money to survive on, then what? Well, then I guess I'll go back to work. Okay. Well, now we have a little bit more dialed in of, well, I have this much money. Once I lose this much, or once the business spends this much or whatever, then I'll have to think of other ways to pivot. I love watching Shark Tank. It's the only TV show that I watch. And Jen and I will typically watch it when we're like eating lunch or something. And it gives me it gives me inspiration. I love business. I love faith. I love, family. I love these different areas of life. And business is one of those things. It gets me excited to see the trials, tribulations, the ways to get creative. But you learn so much watching Shark Tank and how they structure things and the trials and tribulations that they go through. And what I can tell you is there's people in there that have set up very successful businesses. There's other people that come on that don't know when to stop. And they're still just addicted to the business and kind of like what Mr. Wonderful would say, Kevin Harrington, or not Harrington, Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary says, Mr. Wonderful, he says, it's time to take this behind the barn and shoot it, right? Like, let it go. Sometimes business, you got to understand when is going to be enough. And if I'll give it my best shot strategically, but if these things don't happen in this amount of time, then obviously I don't have what it takes. And I can't afford to be able to double down and raise more money or put more money into it. I'm going to have to cut my losses before it gets too extensive. Okay, does that make sense? So understand, if you have a plan together, there's going to be stages where, does this make sense? Do I have the proof of concept? The sales aspect with the amount of money that's coming in from it, is it good? Is it not? Is it something that actually makes sense? Okay. Or is it not selling? And with all my efforts and energy, it's like, this probably the market has already responded. It's not something that they want. Okay. So how long are you actually going to give yourself? But I believe everybody should have and create overall a budget. Besides understanding sales and marketing and how long are you going to actually give this before it's successful, or you're cutting ties and you're quitting on this, is, creating a budget is very important, because especially one day, if you ever bring on investor capital, which I truly don't recommend for a majority of people until you get to a certain point, right? But when you can actually get massive amounts of funding from other banks, I'm talking $2, $3, $4, $500,000 plus, with interest rates as low as 0%. This is what we do at Credit Counsel Elite. Then it's a no-brainer when you can actually take that type of capital, sleep like a baby, and be able to start or grow and scale your current business. If you're looking for other people to do it for you and you're looking for outside funding, I was just talking to a friend earlier today. He was the money partner in a three-way partnership. Again, partnerships, I talk about it all the time. It's scary business. Be careful. Plan for the worst and pray for the best. But the worst happened, and one of them just isn't taking it's just letting everything go to shit and not taking ownership and not paying. And it's horrible stuff. One's paying 300 plus thousand. The other one's paying nothing, trashing all their credit scores. It's just a nightmare. One's doing right. The other one's doing horrible. And the third guy is just kind of there. And, it's just a crazy situation. So if you are creating a budget, then you're going to know this is how much I need. This is how much it costs me. You start dialing in and tracking everything, right? Which I'll talk about in just a second with your KPIs. But at the end of the day, like, you need to know all your expenses and writing it down of what it's going to cost you to be able to supply your product or service. And then after that, is there anything that you can do to cut those? And if, round up for expenses, I like to do that, and then round down for income, and try to have that buffer. And then, you can have your goals, like doing the math of, cool, if I sold 100 of these or 100,000 of these, whatever it is, what would that do? Great, it's going to do this. That's awesome. Now, put a buffer in there and anticipate it for unexpected things to pop off, and it's going to cost you more. It's going to take longer, and it's going to bring in less money. But also, after you understand those numbers, then you can go back to the marketing of like, cool, I only need to sell 100 of these, or I only need to sell 100,000 of these, or 1,000,000 of these to be able to get those results. Now, how do I do it? How do I get in front of those type of people? When you start strategically thinking like that, it really sets you up apart from others, and now you have plans in place, and now you can start running your business off of EOS and figuring out how to successfully go about this, right? So I highly recommend, dialing this stuff in. It's going to set you up for success. Lastly, I want to point out is just KPIs. It's not just money in, money out. It's also tracking your time. It's tracking everything. How much is it costing you to put together something, whatever you're selling, all the miscellaneous things, adding it up. You want to track your KPIs on all this, because the goal is that you're building SOPs, standard operating procedures. You're building them of, this is what I have to do to be able to get these results, so that eventually you know exactly how much time it takes, how much money is involved, all these things. And then you make it crystal clear that you can elevate and delegate and hire somebody else to do it. McDonald's or any fast food restaurant, they have SOPs in place that they can just plug in a body at any time and say, follow the script. Just like on the back of a hamburger helper recipe, it's like, follow the script, follow the SOP, follow the instructions. This is how you make it. This is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and boom, it's done. And then pass it to the next person. They have a couple steps, and you know what I'm saying? It's like you follow the process, and the SOPs are in place, but you have to track everything. But what I don't want is somebody to be over analyzing everything and not taking action on nothing because you're thinking about everything. Okay? Again, simplifying everything, just going back to the simple thing that matters: sales. Sales kills, it solves all problems. So it's gonna eliminate all that heartache, right? Sales. So get good at sales, understand your marketing afterwards, get in front of more people to sell, and then start getting this budget together, start tracking everything, and get SOPs together so that you can elevate and delegate. And you can know, hey, this position is going to cost me this much. But what it should do is buy me time. It should buy me, it should make me money. At the end of the day, each role that you hire on should at least make you or save you, not just in time, but save you money, save you time, and make you money at least 3 to 4 times whatever you're paying that individual. That's how I always look at it. I always look at it 3 to 4 times on the low end. If I'm not getting that, it scares the hell out of me. Like, why do we have this person? What's the point of that? The KPIs aren't shaping out here. Like, why? Like, they're on the bucket list real quick, and something needs to give real soon before we let them go, type of thing. Okay, so be on the lookout of that. Look, if you need help with any of this stuff, number one, use and abuse ChatGPT or any of the free AI softwares out there. There's so much just simple things that they could build out SOPs for you. It'll get 85, 90% of it done. You tell it what to do. You spend 5-10 minutes explaining exactly in detail what your business is, what you do, and the process and so forth. And then you can upload videos on it. You could do whatever, and you could just simplify the process and you could get ChatGPT to create a budget for you, come up with SOPs, how to hire on people, help out with sales, marketing strategies, like all these things. You could ask it to help you come up with income producing activities for this business. If you feel lost, you could dial in all this stuff. And eliminate all those excuses. Again, owning your own business can be a huge blessing. In fact, it is a huge blessing for those willing to put in the work for it. But it is not easy. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It is extremely, extremely difficult. Extremely difficult, because now it's not just about your business, your reputation, your name on the line. And now you're honored to be able to serve other people that are paying you, but it's also the employees and so forth that you're responsible for, and their families and the finances behind them. In addition to, now you have to stir up the culture. Now you have to manage other people, make sure they're not screwing you. Now you have to make sure that people are working, showing up on time, keeping their word, being reputable, not messing up your brand. And anything could give at any time. You have to take all the pain points to the chin, all the additional fees and expenses and all the learning curves. You have to do that. So yeah, you get to celebrate the wins too, but sometimes it just levels out. And so the goal is to learn from everything, to improve over time, and to make something that you're really proud of and that it feels good. But again, it's not for everybody. But I do believe, if you're not called to do business and own your own business, which you may not be, a lot of people are not, then sit down with yourself, be honest and raw with yourself. And then after that, figure out, how do I at least get a plan together to get 1 property, and then 2, 3, 4 properties. Just get 3 to 4 properties. And if you can, residential multifamily, because if you have 1 vacancy, then ideally the other 2 or 3 will cover the mortgage, cover the expenses. If you got 1 roof versus 4 roofs, it just gives you a little bit more freedom there. So anyway, I hope that lands for somebody and it clicks today, because I've been hearing more and more about this, whether it's trying to help out a family member, whether it's trying to help out a best friend. At the end of the day, it's a lot of stuff, and you got to ask yourself truthfully, do you have what it takes to become a business owner? And do you really, really want it? Okay. So love you guys all so much. I hope you get out there and crush this week. And if you have not already subscribed to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, what are you waiting for? Do that right now. You'll get the newest notification every single Monday. Leave that 5-star review after listening to a few episodes. And if you're looking to get massive amounts of funding, we're doing a training this Tuesday, just about how to get massive amounts of funding, getting $2, $3, $4, or even $500,000 plus. Now, if you are a business owner making over, or wanting to become a business owner, and you already have a 700 plus FICO score, and you're already making over $100,000 per year, whether it's in the W-2 or in your own business, then this is something you're not going to want to miss. I encourage you to check out our our workshop that we're putting on this Tuesday, and we should have another one the following Tuesday. So each Tuesday we'll be putting this on. So check it out and go to creditcounselelite.com or simply DM us on social media. On Instagram, it's Brandon Elliott Investments, or on IG, it is Credit Counsel Elite. And you can just go to creditcounselelite.com to be able to learn more. And we will see you on the webinar. Otherwise, guys, God bless. I appreciate it so much. And thanks for all the birthday wishes for Jen as well. Jennifer had a beautiful birthday and we got to spoil her. So it is her birthday month. So we do have a discount going on. If you are serious about joining Credit Counsel Elite and getting up to $500,000 with interest rates as low as 0%, that could be repeated per person every 6 months, interest rates as low as 0. Don't miss that. Then it is anywhere from, it's $3,000 off for our 90-day challenge. And if you are already a member wanting to spread the word, you can get anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 for referring members, good members that are going to actually be joining Credit Counsel Elite. If we do accept them, then you get that blessing. So anyway, love you guys all so much. Enjoy your week. Get out there, crush it. We'll see you next time. We'll see you soon. God bless. Peace.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining.